Lincoln, seeing how I don't really post much on bank shift anymore or really do much work to the car. It is back up in the air. It was on the ground all spring and summer. Had the motor in it this spring and summer as well. That came out so I can do the pulleys and damper and all that fun stuff. It's now at least there. It's done. It needs an alternator. I need to figure out better pulleys for the water pump and the alternator. Like you can see, mechanical fuel pump, manual, fun stuff. Did bigger fuel rails because the ones I had were only -6 and would be far too small. It also has new headers on it instead of just the factory flipped headers that I was going to use. Cam sync, well, dual sync is there. Different valve covers because the cheap fabricated ones didn't really fit. And first time ever welding aluminum, I did -10 bongs for a catch can, billet and adapter to cast valve cover, which is supposedly really hard. It's kind of easy. Then I just fused it. There's no filler used, and it looks like it's solid, so it should hold. See, there's regulator. Working on fuel lines for the motor right now. Yeah, nice little pile of vibrant bags. The little baby turbo that's far too small to really do anything. The fuel system, waiting on the other half of the order because somehow even though I drew it out, I missed a few fittings that I need to actually do fuel rails to the pump. So those got bunched into the next order with all the stuff to do the car. Once those come in, those lines will be done. I can put the motor back in. I'm using a turnbuckle too for the little mount there. That'll go straight to the motor plate mount. Yeah, I mean the motor's done. I do want to see if I can take this elbow and cut 2 inches out of it. That way I can put a flat hood back on the car, get rid of the cowl hood. Because it's actually kind of hard to see out of the car with that hood on. But yeah, that elbow sticks up 1.5 inches above the fender line, which is why it's a 2-inch cowl that I had to make. I'm not really, like I said, it's hard to see out of the car, at least where the seat is for me. It looks good on the car, it's just hard to see out of. Holly is in. It's ready to be, the final wiring be done once the motor is in place. Yeah, you can see Holly's there. There's a bunch of wiring that needs to be cleaned up once the dash is back in, but it's there. Power windows work. Sunroof works again. Even the radio, that's in and working. But yeah, like I do have another factory flat hood right there. I want that to go back on the car. Turbo for 100 that's built by Capizzi to match the one in his car. The rest of the blue front end that I picked up for free. Really, I should have got the whole car. I was offered the car for free. Really, really clean car. The battery was either leaking or exploded. And it ate that driver's side rail. Just completely gone. Like right there in the corner, down through the core support was gone in the car. Everything else is perfect. And to give you an idea, this was the bracket for the hood latch. on the blue car. Like still factory coating. Factory zinc is still on it, both sides. Like that car is just extremely clean. I should have grabbed it, but didn't have a trailer at the time or a trailer hitch. So it stayed. I grabbed the front end off of it. I was able to get John Jank and his drift car. He was looking for parts off the Lincoln, so he took a good number of parts from it. So stuff went to a good home. And to give you an idea, about right there is what I'm looking out of when I'm sitting in the car. So yeah, cowl hood, not so much. But it's there. I need to finish up the trunk and do a floor. Everything's in its place, mounts are made. Just have to do the floor pan. At some point, I'll make another deck lid because this thing's heavy. I did one attempt, like the very first attempt at making a mold for the deck lid. And it turned out decent for a first attempt, but it's definitely not usable as a mold. And then you can see the exhaust for the car right there. It's 5-inch aluminum. Yeah, S197 dash for it. But yeah, like I said, it'll go back on the ground once the motor's in. Decent 8.8 with all Marty Miller brackets and stuff. Could easily put the actual rear end together. I do want to do a set of double adjustables front and rear, at the very least in the rear. I should take that. At the very least, I want to put doubles up front. I don't think from this past season, the struts that are on it, they struggled to control a car with a little bit more power than this would make. We just could not get them tight enough. So I want to step up to something better, like the entry-level Strange adjustables, just so I can keep the car tight and make it work on a radial. Pro Stars are going away. I'm waiting for a friend to actually order new wheels for his car. And then this will get 15x12 billet specialties beadlocks. So, here soon. And then I picked up a TIG. Not really great. Playing around with this stuff I've had laying around forever. You can see, definitely not the best welder, but if you're just learning, it will definitely work. So turbo kit gets made as soon as the motor goes in for the last time. Like obviously there's tubing there to do it. V-bands. The JGS blow-off valve is over there, which is massive, by the way. So, yeah, this car will be done and running for sure this spring, if not sooner. It all depends on when, manufacturers can actually make and ship parts again. That's been a struggle this season. So, like I said, figured I'd do a small update video, mainly for bang shift because I don't get on there a whole lot.